Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to Boss Rush on this Friday afternoon. For me, Friday morning for you, maybe Friday evening for some others. My name is Chris Melosinos. I'm the host of Boss Rush and longtime game industry nerd. And I'm joined today by
Dean Takahashi, editorial director at GamesBeat, and I'm assembling our speaker roster now for GamesBeat Summit, which is coming to LA in May on the 18th and 19th.
Awesome. Yes, among all of the other travel that Dean, has to do and get out there, right? Too, we were just talking before we got started, just how many conferences and stuff just packed up right here at the beginning of the year. So there's no time to rest. So anyway, Dean, good to see you. And we have Mark Delore with us that has somehow slipped into the void. So we're going to let him join us when he gets a moment. He's connected. And, I see I've got full, bars on him there, but bars and bars for days.
The demons have grabbed Mark.
What's that?
The demons have grabbed Mark.
They did, exactly. They dragged him away. Let me go ahead and say good morning to everybody on the live. Good morning and hello, and thanks for joining us today. Susan is off today, and let's see, joining us. I really need to, it's something I don't do. I don't touch type. There he is.
You made it.
You don't touch type.
No, I do not. No, I am somebody who hunts and pecks around the keyboard using 7 fingers. The other 3 I keep on reserve for those special jams. Anyway.
The 6-fingered swordsman, is that?
That's right.
Princess Bride thing?
Yes. Yes, exactly. I mean, my name is Inigo Montoya, and I'm still looking for the 6-fingered man who killed my father. And who are you down there with your collared shirt? Oh, well, look at the both of you. So, wait, actually, all 3 of us do. What the hell am I talking about? What you doing?
Mind. Hi, I'm Mark Delora. I am losing my mind. That's what I am.
Well, join the club, buddy. Join the club.
Yeah. This is Bowser, and he likes to be a bad boy just at the time you're supposed to get on a podcast.
Yeah.
But he's generally good.
That's his job. And when you hear sometimes that little snoring or rumbly in the tumbly, that is not Mark. That is Bowser. Typically,
usually it's Bowser
coming into yes. Sometimes it's Mark, and that's why we have the fart filter on, so we can have that audio blocked out there. So so good to have you guys with us today. We got a. Like every week, we got a ton of news, but this one just feels a whole lot more compressed or packed up as I was sitting here looking at the number of tabs I have opened for our news discussions today. So glad you're with us. Again, Susan, have a great rest of the day off and an awesome weekend. We're going to see you next week. And why don't we go ahead and get started right into the news. All right, this is the big one, Dean. This one, I think, surprised a lot of people. Would love to hear your take on. I know Rachel Kaiser, who's on your team there, did this story here. But Mark, have you had a chance to see this as well?
Nope.
Yeah, it's continued growth for Roblox. I mean, every quarter, somehow they still seem to be able to pack more daily active users into their platform, and the number of hours keeps growing. For a company of their size to grow daily active users 69% in the fourth quarter compared to a year earlier is just insane, right? And so it's drawing so many people of the world. I assume maybe it has all the world's children in it now, but lots of adults as well, right? And so the revenue grew 43% to 1.4 billion in the quarter, and bookings 63%. Hours engaged rose 88% to 35 billion hours in one quarter. So they're defying, I guess, what any kind of other companies are seeing in terms of slowdowns. Take Two is also really one of the only big U.S. Companies reporting data now, because EA is in the process of being acquired. And Take Two also had a very good quarter, driven by 19% growth in mobile, and almost all of their mobile games across the board grew. And so then that's a much more sort of mature business, and so to see them grow something like mobile 19% in a quarter is pretty good, and so it still gives us what is a mixed picture for the whole industry, right? Some companies doing very well. EA reported their results as well this week, and but they no longer do a earnings call, where usually a lot more information comes out, but because they're in the process of being acquired by the Saudis and others, for regulatory reasons, they're no longer providing more information than the bare numbers, and their numbers were good as well. So.
Yeah. It's well, not only not providing those numbers, but then of course there's the other investigation that's going on right now about the impact of the acquisition of EA, right? So it's going to be, I think, weird for a little bit, right, for our friends over there and for the industry at large. But I think also what's pretty interesting and telling about the Roblox numbers, right? It just kind of highlights the difference between, again, a Roblox and a Fortnite versus other services, because it is as much social and a gathering place as it is a game, if not more, right? And so you can kind of get those bigger swings as you have a mass of people that are engaged across all these things versus individual games, individual experiences, right? So, yeah, it's great to see those numbers, great to see the business healthy and climbing. But again, if you're building games, online games, comparing what you're doing to a Roblox, you have to be careful because it's a social network, right? It's a social platform. It's not just a games platform, right? Yeah. So good. I mean, it's good to see again upward trends of some of those numbers, right? Which is great.
Yeah.
All right. What are the big news on the top of our brains this morning? Mark, how about you? What you got?
I got nothing. You go. I'm catching up.
Well, I'd say that also the last interesting fact about Roblox is that the top 1,000 creators now make an average of $1.3 million on Roblox. So pretty good. Nice.
Very, very nice. Collect those coins. No, that's awesome, right? And yeah, if you have a great idea, it's kind of, it feels like we say it all the time, and every year as the tech gets better and distribution gets better, it's like the best time to be a game developer, because you can get access to these platforms, you can trial balloon your ideas, you can get quick feedback loops, right? Not just through platforms like that, but large community-based platforms like Discord and things like that. So it's yes, the competition is here. Yes, we have very real issues economically and within the industry. But again, it just highlights that there are opportunities out there for people that want to bring art, story, and games to the world, right? So it's pretty awesome to look at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have an old timers story for us here.
You do? I think I know what you're going to talk about. Let's go, buddy.
Oh, you do? Okay. Well, Saber Interactive announced yesterday that they're going to publish Turok Origins in the fall. And if that happens, then it will be 16 years between this game and the last Turok game that came out in 2008. So that's what you call pent-up demand, I think. And we'll see how many Turok fans are still around, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. Sure. Yeah.
It's like dinosaur hunting, right? Or dinosaur fighting. I guess, we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, since we're on this, then let's definitely go ahead and talk about the Nintendo Direct that dropped. So many cool things that every time they do this, just like, oh, I have no time to play all of this up. But there's Turok, as you mentioned, looks awesome, right? On that Switch too. Another cool thing that happened there was in the Nintendo Direct was Hollow Knight 2. Getting an graphical update for the Switch 2. So available for download, right? An update right now. Have you all played a lot of Hollow Knight 2 yet?
Just a little bit to know that I'm not very skillful at it.
I got you there, buddy. I got you.
Well done.
Yes, well done. The same, right? You're like certain reflexes that I thought would kick in were a little harder to kick in, but still just such a beautiful game and so very well done. And of course, you've got the update to there on Nintendo Switch. The big one for me that I didn't see in the Direct was the launch of, and we talked about this before, the launch of the Virtual Boy emulator, and that coming to Nintendo. Just want to see if it was down here.
Yes.
It's not. And then speaking of old-timey stuff, my goodness. Speaking of them old-timey things, there is Arcade Archives 2 with Rave Racer coming to the Nintendo Switch 2, which was only ever launched in arcades, right? So people are going to be able to get to play these at home. And, you know, for people that maybe have not played some of these older games, right, or from that era, when I see it, I think, oh my gosh, just how instantly playable those things were, just how much, fun they are. So definitely dig into them as, Nintendo continues to release a lot of classic games and older games. Are doing a really good job from a preservation and accessibility standpoint. I think they do a really good job with a lot of this old content. So, those were kind of the bigger pickups for me for the Nintendo Direct. And then, of course, Scott Pilgrim EX, great side-scrolling beat-em-up that's coming out on March 3rd. Can't wait to pick that up. Dreamlight Valley, Nintendo Switch Edition, awesome. Goat Simulator 3, can't wait to see what the hell that's going to be. But yeah, a ton of stuff. I mean, here you go. Fallout 4 Anniversary Edition, Indiana Jones, The Great Circle. Yes, absolutely fantastic. I don't even have an appropriate. Here we go.
Good news, everyone.
Yeah, good news, everyone. Right, Indiana Jones: The Great Circle is coming to Switch 2, which is my favorite, adventure-ish, action adventure game from last year. I mean, just the number of games they bring out is just it's crazy. So good on you, Nintendo, for continuing to do that for us. So yeah. All right, that's it. I know I took a lot on the Nintendo Direct, but there we go. How about you, Mark? What do you? Has your brain kicked in with any news you're following, or no?
Yeah, it's slowly kicking in. Dean, did you go to the Taipei Game Show?
No, I did not. I've never been to that. Yeah.
I haven't either. That's one that's on my list. I need to get to. I was just noticing the headline that they had 400,000, door entries. I'm not sure how many days it was, but that's amazing. And also, I guess it's split into a developer side and a consumer side. So that's the consumer side. There's a note here about 2,100 business professionals from 43 countries. I was talking to Shu Yoshida yesterday. He said he is sort of focusing more on the Asian game shows and the indie communities there now, like Bit Summit and Taipei Game Show. So that's why that pops for me. I'm like, I need to get my passport out, clearly.
Yeah. I think the Asian territories are definitely the ones that are seeing the most growth in the industry now, and the least layoffs as well. That data comes from Amir Satvat, and so if there's a recovery underway in games, it's happening across Asia. So
interesting to see. Did you see the Valve news? Actually, I want to say it's news. Is it news?
Kind of.
Yeah, it's kind of
sort of news.
You mean the kind of delayed talk.
Yeah. They're like,
um,
at some point we're going to announce.
yeah, they didn't announce their original launch date for the new Steam machines and the VR headset and the controller, but they did, hint that it was going to be early 2026, and then AMD also just sort of jumped the gun for both Valve and for Xbox, and they said, that Valve's Steam products were coming in early 2026, but then Valve put out a statement that this memory chip shortage is causing them to rethink and figure out when they can do the launch, and they were hinting maybe it's more like second quarter or later, I guess. And so I do think that the memory chip pricing is potentially going to be catastrophic for gaming hardware, right? Not only Valve here, but I think PC gaming rigs are already more expensive, I think.
Yep.
There was a report from this Counterpoint research that we wrote about this week that said memory chip prices are up 90% in Q1. And in Q4, they were up 40 to 50%, right? And the shortage of memory chips is due to the fact that AI is so popular. So NVIDIA's success means they're selling tons and tons of AI chips, but you need a lot of memory to go with that. I mean, in some ways, there's possibly some mitigation because different kinds of chips are being used. Like, NVIDIA uses a lot of high bandwidth memory, right? And different from graphics memory for sure.
Yeah. That's part of the other side of that curve, as everybody tries to bulk up and build more memory chips, and then as the demand tails off, hopefully the memory chips will get a lot cheaper. I keep my fingers crossed.
The other article there at gamesindustry.biz is, to that point, Nintendo working to secure stable supplies of memory components to avoid price hikes, right? So it's hitting everybody across the board, from supply chain management to, forward-looking inventory and things like that. And what does that hit look like? It's just, old man story. It just reminds me, I used to work for CompUSA before it was CompUSA, back when it was Soft Warehouse. And I remember, getting like 1 megabyte memory chips, folks. They didn't come on a stick. You had to populate a board with and you're like, this 1 megabyte is $250, and that's like in 1990 prices, and you're like, what the hell? So we've been through this before.
It was amazing. Right? I still remember the first time I saw a hard drive attached to a computer, like a desktop computer. I was like, it's 10 megabytes? Wow. That's awesome.
Yep. I know. Exactly.
I also remember the debate that they had inside Xbox when they were launching the machine. And, they asked if, they asked Tim Sweeney and Carmack and other people, like, how much RAM should we have in our game console? And they were going to do 256 megabytes, I think. And everybody else was arguing to go higher with like 512. And so Tim Sweeney was among the people who said, look, you're doing all this trouble to get Gears of War from us, but Gears of War is just going to look so crappy at 256. And so you have to double it. And so Microsoft decided to double the amount of RAM. And it cost them $1 billion, right? across the whole 4 years of the original Xbox. And, they lost something like $4 billion on the original Xbox. So it was, but it was, it was the right thing to do at the time to put that much money.
It was the beginning of the Xbox, franchise, right? It could have been if they hadn't put that memory in there, people would have just laughed at the console and we all would have moved on.
Yeah, exactly. And now they're in the same sort of situation, right? That everybody's getting ready to launch new game consoles. At least Sony and Microsoft are overdue, and
Are they?
How much RAM are they going to put in it? Right?
Are they overdue?
We're at 6 years, and they're not even announced, and so it could be 8 years before the machines actually arrive. So that's overdue. I mean, 5 years was the normal console cycle. It has shifted to later for sure, but I think if they could launch, they would. Right, and right now they can't. I think because of this memory problem.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a good question to have. Well, first, I was also going to say, Microsoft didn't throw back at Epic during that era. Well, stop being lazy, game developers. Make it look better with what you got, right? Isn't that like the standard line? If only game developers weren't so damn lazy, there would be more levels and art and games in there. Obviously, they must not just be, I want those 5-hour work days. But no, in all seriousness, when I think about, the games on PlayStation 5 and the stuff that's coming out, is there anything really coming out that absolutely burns the hardware? Like crushes it to, where it's just dropping frames like crazy?
The comparisons everybody still makes is to old games like, CD Projekt Red's, Cyberpunk game is sort of the one that's hardest to run. And I suppose GTA 6, but GTA 6 is probably going to run on most machines, right? So how high-end it goes is going to be an interesting question for everybody. And, back to the whole memory problem, I mean, it probably wasn't an accident that Microsoft priced the ROG Ally Xbox X at $1,000, right? A handheld device selling for $1,000, starting last fall.
Right.
It's like I said, this memory chip shortage is causing so many other problems in the market. This is time when gaming is supposed to be recovering, but the hardware is not going to help at all. It's going to get more expensive. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, like we were saying last week, if you have a game that runs really well on current consoles and memory bound PCs, now it's your shot, right?
Well, Crush, it's for you.
Exactly. All right. Well, since we were talking about comparison to older games, Dean, I want you to talk to us about this experiment that you went through here. Resolution Games launches Apple Vision Pro game Retrocade on Apple Arcade.
Yeah. I mean, Apple finally brought me into the Apple Vision Pro fold here after a couple of years for this particular game launch. So I went to their headquarters, learned how to use the Apple Vision Pro, and then have one at home now. And the most one of the fascinating things we did was we did the press event inside FaceTime with while we're wearing the Apple Vision Pros, and they have this avatar animation system. Called Personas, where it takes a picture of you and uses that as the foundation to do lip syncing for you in these FaceTime calls. And so we're talking to Tommy Palm, who was in Sweden, and it looked like he was just sitting in a room next to us, right? And speaking and making hand gestures and things like that. So so that part was a lot of fun, and I don't think I've ever been in a better virtual call than that, right? Yeah. So that was a good experience just to talk about the game, and yeah, the game has like life-size cabinets. You can walk into an old 1980s arcade. They've created a room where you can just go look at a bunch of different machines, and then you can pick one and play it, and basically get a view of like you're looking at a 3D real machine, and so you see the borders of the cabinet as you're playing, and you have to use right now some kind of controller. So I used a PlayStation 5 controller. It worked fine, and I haven't played the games enough to really know this part, but like getting that controller to sync up well with the timing of the game, I think, is slightly different. Like you're not getting the same tactile feedback that you would from like, joystick and buttons and things like that. Right. So you have to relearn how to play some of the games like Breakout on there. I played Space Invaders, and I was like trying to press the button way too fast on Space Invaders. Right. And it wasn't firing that fast because it's an old game, right?
It was designed. You only have, I think it's 2 missiles are ever on the screen. One of them has to basically collide or leave before you can fire another one. So you forget that it's gated.
Yeah. So it's funny how your memory doesn't match up. So you have to relearn how to play the games with a modern controller.
Yeah.
Right? But it worked. It's fun. It's very fascinating experience that is so different. I mean, there's the immersion you get from being in a mixed reality headset like that. While you can still see like your living room, it's
pretty amazing.
It's really fascinating. They have these new M5 chips in them as of last fall as well, and so so you're getting as good an experience as you can get, I think.
Yeah.
These headsets. It's the sad thing remains that they still cost $3,500, right?
Right.
So,
yeah. Well, and so again, I know that I showed some web-based stuff last week, and then Mark, when we're thinking about AR placed cabinets using an AR device that you can engage with, like, we know. And not only that, so if you don't have a $3,500 headset, there is a game that Mark and I actually played a while ago. It's called New Retro Arcade Neon.
Oh, good.
And it basically allows you to build a virtual arcade that works inside of any VR headset that you have hooked to your PC. But it also includes things like skee-ball and bowling and pop shot, those sorts of things. And a little music there. And then the community leans in and they build all of the art for the different cabinets. They create the overlays and everything else and that you can download. They built a management system so you can restructure your arcade any way you want. In the movie theater, you can hook the VHS cassettes into your own video files that you may have like on a Google Drive somewhere. So when you pop that VHS cassette into the projector in the theater room, it's just streaming it off the web. And you can have, I think, 8 players in there. And each player, Dean, is represented by a Virtual Boy headset just bobbing around the environment. So you can have your friends in there. You can all play together. You can, watch movies, do all of this stuff. You could change all the posters on the wall. You could set up to randomize. Like, it's crazy. It's just so crazy. But it's also one of those things like building, a model or working on a puzzle. It's like you want to continue refining it. And then you go, that was fun. And then you forget to go back in. But, but it's still a ton of fun to play with.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, one of the coolest things I was telling Dean before we started was you could pick up a Game Boys that are laying around the environment. And when you pick it up, you can hear sounds and stuff, but you don't see anything because you have to walk over to an area in the arcade that has a light source. You can hold the Game Boy under the light so you can see the screen. I'm like, all right, developers, there you go. That's just crazy. Anyway, so I definitely want to try out Resolution Games stuff. But new Retro Arcade Neon. Go and check it out. It's pretty awesome there.
Yeah, they call it a love letter to the arcades of the 1990s or 80s and 90s, right? Yeah.
You know, I keep saying this. I keep saying that there is a pent-up demand from people that started playing video games back in that era that want to re-engage and want to play. The companies that focus on it first are going to be sitting all right as more and more Gen Xers and Gen Ys start to look at retirement in the next 7 years and stuff like that. So great that we're getting all of this stuff in here. I did have this one news story that one of your colleagues, David, brought up, and this should hit home for Mark, which is Analog 3Ds to get new limited edition colors inspired by unreleased N64 prototypes. Mark,
Yeah, I love that.
I know you do.
Yeah, I like those colors. The green one, I think, is my favorite. I think I might have one of those. I'm not sure. I was like, that's familiar. But I saw the controllers down further below weren't the same shape as the N64 controllers.
No, it's their 8-bit DO Pro controller, right? So a
which
little
is
more.
awesome, but it's N64. You got to use an N64 controller.
Yes, the Trident, so you can figure out which way you want to hold your hands and all that stuff. But yeah, I love that we continue to do this stuff and kind of, again, thinking about the nostalgia piece where it just picks at the back of your brain and go, oh yeah, I remember that. Oh, I didn't get that green one, and now you have a chance to, So I thought that was pretty cool. All right.
I totally forgot. Like, my most important news, most exciting news this week, I think, was the Grammys.
Oh,
so
yes.
Austin Wintory winning a Grammy for best video game soundtrack, and then the 8-Bit Big Band won a Grammy for the Super Mario Praise Break arrangement, which is mind blowing. If you haven't listened to it on YouTube, I think I was smiling for the entire 5 minutes. Super Mario Praise Break, that's the name of the video. So yeah, wow, congratulations. And of course, Austin's going to be conducting the orchestra on Tuesday night at the GDC Festival, which I'm super excited about. So it's, love it.
Yeah, congratulations to all the award winners there. And the fact that we continue to get these, that kind of recognition in more mainstream type of awards and stuff like that just really shows, that
they're finally catching up.
And everybody plays. Everybody plays video games, for goodness sake, So that's pretty fantastic. Who was the other winner? So it was Austin Wintory's.
The other one was the 8-bit. I think it was just the two of them. I think.
Okay.
Not 100% sure about that.
I was always very happy to see Golden win the award from K-pop Demon Hunters for the best song for visual media, and they didn't. I don't think they got to go on stage, but I think that was the first K-pop Grammy ever, right?
Yeah, I love that.
Or BTS has not yet won one. But I was very happy to see that one got a award. They're up for 2 Oscars as well, and I think they're going to perform at the Oscars for that song. But that was such a happy, inspiring movie, I think. And good for them, good for K-pop, and I think also the K-pop star Rosé opened the show with Bruno Mars.
I was just looking at that just now. That was amazing.
Apathy song.
Yeah.
So
that was so good.
That was fun. That's extremely fun and very interesting to see. The something like the Grammys welcoming in these new K-pop upstarts, right? So.
Yeah, Rosie posted a big 8-minute video or something on Instagram of her mind being blown with all the preparation and work behind her Grammy appearance. So it was like, oh, it's so nice to see.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'd love to see that.
Well, in the theme of celebrating, right, our industry and celebrating game development and artistry and everything else, friend of all of ours, Olga Shelieva, who is the business development lead for the Seattle Indies organization, had reached out and had said, hey, listen, for the very first time ever, she's going to be organizing a Ukrainian game showcase in San Francisco during GDC. It's going to be hosted in collaboration with the Ukrainian consulate. She said she's previously organized Ukrainian charity auction at GDC, but this is a new and especially meaningful initiative. They're going to be showcasing 10 plus Ukrainian games with two main goals: to demonstrate that Ukrainian game development is a compelling opportunity for publishers and investors, and to proudly highlight Ukraine's unique culture as expressed through games. So, this is obviously not the GDC stuff, but this is, the site that she also links out to.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk to them and then go to their sort of offsite, I think, event and talk to them there. I think though a lot of the games don't have representatives able to present them because most like all of the men are still not allowed to leave Ukraine, right? And so if they have women who are able to present the games, then they can. But yeah, that's one of the artifacts of the war still, is that men can't leave Ukraine to go to things like GDC.
Yeah. So more representation, more eyes, and it's also important to remember that art and creativity and desire to get those stories out right come from every corner of our planet, even under some of the most stressful sorts of environments. And so it's important to make sure that we collectively, not just in games, but just as freaking human beings on the planet, kind of hold each other up and try to put more light out there in the world. So I think it's wonderful she's doing this. I can't wait to see what they show at GDC, and wanted to make sure that we mentioned it. And so thanks, Olga, for reaching out and letting me know about it, and happy to discuss it. So
yeah.
All right. What other news do we have? I've got a good one here by another one of your.
Yeah.
I did do an interview with Suda51. So
nice.
Did you bring any No More Heroes? Was it No More Heroes, right? Isn't that Suda?
His big games include No More Heroes and then Killer 7 and Lollipop Chainsaw.
Right? Oh yeah,
right.
Yeah.
About
that one. And so he's got a new one that's called Romeo is a Dead Man. It's coming out on February 11th on consoles and PC, and it is perhaps their bloodiest game yet. In fact, we talked about it in this interview we did about how you start with horror, but at some point there's so much over the top violence and blood that it just turns into comedy. It's one of the perhaps funniest games of rivers and rivers of blood flowing from in every scene. I don't know, they probably push the consoles to their limit on how many particles they can have on the screen at any given time.
Yeah, the picture you have is crazy. It's a throne of blood. I'm like, oh my God, that's insane. That's a lot of,
So it's funny, it's interesting, and but they are so creative at coming up with these things, and Romeo looks like he's some weird looking futuristic cowboy hat guy, right? And the game has a Juliet in it as well, but he said it doesn't follow the story of Romeo and Juliet at all.
There she is. Oh no. We know you're talking about the
Back to the Future story as well, right? So
when you talk about the the bloodiness of it becoming cartoonish and everything else, right? It's like the Kill Bill effect, right? There's just so much blood and everything happening that you're like, okay, I can kind of hang with this because clearly not real. Clearly it is an anime that you're watching, right? Or manga that you're watching. And so, if you push it to that degree, then it's like, okay, now it's not violence, it's insanity, which is pretty awesome too. Yeah, so definitely going to go ahead and check that out.
Yeah.
For sure. Okay, I know we're shifting gears all over the place here, but I wanted to make sure that we talked about this. I think this is a pretty interesting one, especially with all the discussion around AI in games and how do we use that, most effectively. Rachel Kaiser over there on the Games Beat team, of course, posted this article. Xbox parsed 14.8 billion pieces of content, according to their transparency report. And this is the part I thought was incredible here. They moderated a total of 14.8 billion pieces of content during the year and found that 2.5%, or 368 million pieces of that content violated its policies. All right, which is just staggering. It also revealed an expanded scope of its AI detection protocols to cover 11 more harmful topics than they did in 2024. Right. So yeah, look, as we all have the opportunity to express ourselves right through all of these platforms, we also have communities that we have to manage and make sure that we kind of protect and foster healthy conversation, not clamping stuff down. And so the sheer volume of that content is extraordinary. And so using AI-based moderation tools and things like that to be able to help to understand context, not just what's being typed in or verbally expressed. It's like I always say, listen to the words people are using, or listen to what people are saying, not the words that they're using. And but it's excellent that they continue to lean in on managing that for their communities. So, but just the numbers, I was like, what? Incredible.
The problem with AI tech, like any other tech, it's going to be 99.999% effective, right? But the large numbers problem still means that, as you point out here, 300 million plus problems, right?
Yeah, it was only 2.5% of the total, right?
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah. And so Roblox has seen a similar problem now, where they're using AI to stop child predators and to clamp down on any inappropriate behavior, but with the same kind of effectiveness rates, right? It means they still have a huge number of problems that are involving real humans, right? And so that has really in the past year really sprung up as their number one issue that they have to face and deal with and tackle, because they're facing likely regulation across the world, because people are so concerned about the numbers of children who have problems, right? And if you look at some of the other nations of the world, they're cracking down on social media, right? Australia has banned it for kids, right? Spain is going to do so as well. Other countries, the same. I think this child safety issue is probably going to be one of the things that comes up next. And I think everyone in the game industry should be aware of it, right?
Yeah. I mean, Dean, you bring up a really interesting point here that goes back to something we were talking about a little bit earlier in the show is with how do we define what social media is? Would eventually a Roblox fall under the same category, right? Mm-hmm. Given the volume, how it's shaped, how it works, right? And so really important as well to really understand the implication of all these things and how this continue to grow while also protecting those communities, right? So very interesting times indeed, of course.
Yeah. We did talk about Xbox. I did want to circle back on the mention of the next generation Xbox that just happened, right? And a lot of people going, but lots of rumors about what's going to happen and all that. But the interesting thing about this week was that AMD had their earnings call, and then in the prepared remarks of the earnings call, the CEO Lisa Su said that we are going to be there to support the next generation Xbox in 2027. That last, when putting the year in,
like, what?
I'm sure was somebody's mistake. and I'm sure Microsoft calls them up right after this and says, why did you announce our console?
Yeah.
And they announced, mid 2025, they announced a strategic agreement, but they didn't give the year. Right. And so now here's AMD, which is working on the project. The CEO of the company comes out and says, yep, we're going to be ready in 2027. Right? I don't know if they're trying to push Microsoft into saying something, but it's very bizarre that they would say this. And so it was a scoop for me because I was just looking at the prepared remarks and I'm going like, I had to call somebody up and say, wait a minute, you guys have not said what year this is coming, right? And then, got confirmation of that. And it's the weirdest thing to slip out during a chip company's earnings call that here's when the next generation Xbox is arriving, right? So
it wasn't in the prepared remarks, though, right? It was in Q&A. Is that right?
No, it was in prepared.
It was in the prepared remarks.
Ooh, okay, yeah. Okay, so what I was about to say, so I was about to say, for anybody that's listening right now, there is a concept in PR and public speaking called murder boarding. And for those that are not familiar with murder boarding, is Dean's laughing because he knows exactly this. I'm sure Mark does too, right? Where you prepare your public speakers by sending through a barrage of questions that are completely uncomfortable to see how they react, right? So my first thought was, okay, a little more of that type of, training murder. We're all human, stuff happens. But if it was in a prepared remark, then you'd think that was vetted and clearly something happened there. So don't use AI to write your remarks. No, just
I was wondering if their stock went up. I went over to their stock price. I was like, did it go up because they mentioned that they were gonna? No, actually, it went way down.
Wow.
Okay, maybe it didn't have to do with the 2027 announcement.
Yeah.
I was just looking at this and thinking about the conversation we had earlier about the next generation of consoles and I'm thinking of the way that I use my Xbox, and I don't pretend to think that I use it the same way as other people do. I'm sure some people and not some people, but my Xbox has mostly been used for streaming of Xbox Game Pass games. I
not downloading, streaming, not downloading.
Yeah, because I will go and if there's a new game that comes out, I'm curious to check it out. I could download 50 gigabytes just to try it and discover I don't like it. Or I could go stream it for 10, 20 minutes, whatever. And if I like it, then I could download it. And a lot of times, probably majority of times, I'm like, okay, now I understand what the game's about. I'm going to try something else. I'm trying to think of the last game I actually bought or downloaded on the Xbox. So I guess my takeaway from that is I guess I'm not going to be first in line to buy the new generation of machines, probably, because it's going to stream just as well, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, it's just all right.
Yeah, there's so many things happening that are going to affect this next generation, like the effectiveness of cloud gaming services now, right?
Yeah. They've gone really good if you're in the right zone.
I remember Hip Hop Gamer, who is in the news this week, right? He was ahead of me getting a demo on the Samsung connected TV, and then he was playing Halo Infinite on it, and it worked perfectly, right? And he's just shouting, "Whoa, Xbox without a box." He's just writing that over and over again. and yeah, it was like, it summed up, the experience, right? You get to play on a TV via the cloud without having to go buy a machine with a bunch of memory in it, right?
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So this whole I think memory chip shortage may be actually good for cloud gaming, except that those data centers are going to need that memory too, right?
Right, exactly.
And GPUs and all of those, all of the things. Yes.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say about that. So yes, very, very cool. But, hey, but since you brought him up, let's also talk about this story you had with
Hip Hop Gamer.
yes, with Gerard Williams, who's amazing. He's just what an incredible person, and how he uses passion around games to help kids and to help communities. He's extraordinary. I just absolutely love being around him. His energy is off the chart. And so tell us a bit about the discussion you had with him, Dean.
Yeah. He's going to be a character inside the Mutant Football League 2 game, which launched back in December or so. And, this is a remake of, or an extension of a franchise that first came out in 1993, right? And it so happened that hip hop gamer, Gerard Williams, he was raised by his grandmother, and she taught him how to play games, right? And so she got him a Sega Genesis, and one of the games that he played was Mutant Football League, and so it has like the sentimental value for him, reminding him of his grandmother, and they met and talked, actually brought him into the game along with some of his community friends as well, and so Mutant Football League is just a crazy Suda 51 style game where you play football with weapons and zombies and monsters and characters with all kinds of ultra violence to it. So very different kind of football game than Madden for sure. But yeah, it's all just in time for the Super Bowl here. Kudos for Hip Hop Gamer.
Yeah, it was just awesome. I had the good fortune of doing a long form interview with him about beginning of last year on game industry legend stuff. We had a chance to talk about his whole upbringing and why he's so positive about this stuff. And man, I just love to see his star continue to rise. He's an incredible ambassador for all of us. And again, where his focus is about about changing your life and about positivity and about, loving the stuff you love and being true to yourself. Just incredible messages for kids in the communities that he focuses on.
He's a candidate now for the NAACP's Image Award.
That's right.
For creators in gaming and tech. And he's nominated along with 4 other people to win the award. So very interesting. He's also going to be one of our MCs at Games Beat Summit on May 18th and 19th in LA.
That's right. Everybody, if you've not been around before, hold on to your hats because he's going to get up there and blow the roof off the place. Absolutely love that. Awesome. Okay, I don't have any other big news stories, but I did want to catch up with some of the comments that were here in the chat. And one specific one, which was really important, was that the Indiana Jones and the Great Circle on the Switch 2 will not be a game key card, which means that you'll have the whole game on the physical card instead of it being a key card. So absolutely love that. Good. You want to own stuff, right? That's great. That's great. Okay. If you have any other news pieces, go ahead and hit them. I want to look up one thing for you. I want to make sure that we that I hit on.
Well, the only other thing that I've been sitting here staring at, and I haven't had a chance to completely dive in on yet, is the Epic Game Store 2025 summary that you guys published. I'm keeping a close eye on what's going on with game stores right now, and hoping that they diversify a little. So this was interesting to me. Do you have any takeaways from this, Dean?
Yeah, they saw a year where their third-party sales went up 57%, and it's above 400 million now. And the crazy thing about that is that that number does not include the game companies that opt to use their own payment system in the Epic Game Store, which Epic allows, right? And what that means is those companies don't have to pay the 12% sort of royalty to Epic when they're and they just get to sell their games for free on top of the Epic Games Store. And so, they may have a 3 to 5% payment to make to a payment company that they're using on their own. But they get more margin back, and there are a lot of companies. I think like Take-Two is one of the examples of a company doing that on top of the Epic Games Store. And so still to have the Epic Games Store itself grow 57% with third parties in a environment in which it's allowing those other kinds of sales to happen is pretty amazing result as well. So the Epic Games Store, it also when they put up a game that's available for free, one of the side effects is that the game sales on Steam for that game, for a paid game, double during that time when the game is available for free on the Epic Games.
That's funny. Wow.
So, it is having an outsized, sort of not measured effect on the game industry and game sales. So
fascinating.
Yeah,
very interesting.
All right. Well, I found the article that I wanted to talk. So yes, congratulations to Epic and our friends over there, and continuing to provide additional alternative ways to go ahead and get games onto your platforms, and to provide new opportunities for payment, right, for those providers. But I did want to go ahead and hit on this one because I just love it so much. The Video Game History Foundation had this post back in December, and if you haven't seen it, I may have mentioned it on the stream before, but it just bears repeating. The Sega Channel was a service back in the 90s where you could buy a cartridge that actually had a coaxial connector on the back, and you basically plugged in your Genesis and you hooked up to this online service, and there would be special versions of Genesis games that would download over the Sega Channel, right, as part of this subscription service. They have been able to get the archive together and basically reconstitute all of the ROMs, the games, right, everything else that existed on the Sega Channel. And here we have Phil, who is the librarian there at the Video Game History Foundation. He's amazing, and he walks you through, what is this? How long is this? An hour of the secrets of the Sega Channel. And it's just one of the things that they just do so very well, which is to really kind of not just look at the things that are mainstream, but also to kind of go around the periphery and make sure that we're archiving these things and we're keeping them for good. And it is just absolutely amazing. It's fascinating to read this. So, yeah, definitely go ahead and check it out. I'll pop the link to that right here into the chat so people can go ahead and see it. But yeah, definitely go check them out. They're doing just such wonderful work there. And full disclosure, I'm a founding board member there. So I may be slightly biased, but not really. If you meet him or Frank, you would understand they are both just incredible archivists and historians for the industry. So that's the other big piece of news that I've got there. And now we're going to go ahead and talk about our games, like what have we been playing? Okay, so I don't really have a whole lot of, update from last week. I have no time to play really right now.
I got very busy as well. Didn't play that much, but I did manage to play the Retrocade game on the Apple Vision Pro from Tommy Palm's company, Resolution Games, and yeah, that's a lot of fun. I did finish Dispatch over the last weekend.
Oh, nice!
That was great. And a tiny bit of Arc Raiders this week, but mostly writing stories. Yeah.
Yes, Mark, what are you playing? You're playing the GDC is a month away and my hair's on fire. Is that what you're playing?
Yeah, that is definitely what I'm playing. Also, the tree has fallen and almost hit my house, and I need to take care of it. And the toilet is leaking, and I need to replace it entirely game. But I did download Megabonk yesterday, and unfortunately, I haven't clicked play yet. But both Megabonk and Peak are on my list of things to play around with this weekend. So
Megabonk is so good. So ridiculously good. Yeah, I'm just not playing a whole lot of, like I said, of anything right now. Just too much stuff. Get ready for GDC. I know that you all have dice coming up as well next week.
Yeah.
And then a mere 2 weeks later, not Amir, as in Amir Sadvat, our friend, 2 weeks but a mere 2.5 weeks after GDC. So it's
2.5. Gosh,
something
I'm gonna
like that.
update my calendar.
Exactly. Start drinking, everybody. Okay, but I think that's basically going to go ahead and wrap us up for this week of Boss Rush. I want to thank my co-host, Dean Takahashi, Mark Delora, for joining us today.
Steve?
And to Susan, again, have an awesome weekend. For all of you that joined us today, thank you so much for spending a time with us on this Friday morning, afternoon, evening, from wherever you happen to be. Please go ahead and let your friends know about the program and the live stream that we do here. We've got a bunch of stuff that's going to be happening at GDC with Boss Rush, and still working through all of those pieces. So super excited to talk about that later. But go play more games. Smile at the amount of art that we get to engage in every day. Be kind to each other, and have an awesome rest of your day and a fantastic weekend. And we'll see you next week.
Super Bowl weekend. I don't know if you knew.
What's that?
Super Bowl weekend.
Oh yeah, exactly.
The
I hear.
Seahawks are in it.
I cannot wait.
I'm going to go to the Madden Bowl later today.
I can't wait to see all the sports points that are scored during the Super Bowl as the ball.
I'm going to watch all the ads.
Ball is carried to the sports point court, and they throw.
I know you're a hardcore fan. You can't fool us.
I know. That's exactly right.
I'm sending you a Seahawks jersey.
Exactly. Yeah. No, it's going to be Tecmo Bowl all weekend for me. That's what I'm going to be doing. Watch the Super Bowl and then playing it on Tecmo Bowl. Anyway, all right. Enjoy. Be safe. Have a great weekend. Awesome Super Bowl weekend, and we'll see you next week. Thanks, gang. Bye.
Next week.